Brad, tell me what you see here.
An individual body of land in the middle of a big body of water.
Okay, yes.
Isolated from any other land.
That's right. This is not a peninsula.
Okay. I know there's a name for
This is
this.
hardly an archipelago.
Yeah.
Brad, this is an island.
It's not an atoll. An island! Okay, I love to be on an island.
Do you love to be an islander?
I don't know that I would want to live there.
Okay.
Island is a nice place to visit.
I think you're right. And I think I wouldn't want to live there either, but I would love to build on it.
Conquer it.
Brad, what you see here may look like an island with nothing much on it, but keen islanders like myself right out the gate are noticing some things here.
Oh.
We got some flowers.
Okay.
That's very important. We got a statue. That's huge.
Kind of an obelisk.
Yeah. I feel like not all obelisks, or not all statues are obelisks, but all obelisks are statues.
Okay, sure.
You know? And we got some trees. Brad, this is important for this game Islanders here, which is all about making the most out of what little you have.
Okay.
This is a PC game. It's on Steam only right now. It's $5.
Oh.
And it's a very neat little puzzle game.
I've heard really good things about this.
So every game starts with a randomly generated island, a very small randomly generated island. This is a new game I just started. And everyone, you start out by picking one of two packs, the lumber pack or the farming pack. And this kind of will dictate where your island goes. I've been primarily starting with the lumber pack. And so this is kind of a city builder, but more of a puzzle game.
Yeah, that's interesting because
city builder.
Yeah, I heard kind of city builder to describe this, but I just assumed like, oh, it's going to be some sprawling SimCity endless thing. But
no, it's
it sounds
in fact
like more like it's like a scenario to be solved.
Like if SimCity had an arcade mode.
Okay.
I feel like is kind of where this is.
Okay, oh, that sounds good.
So each pack will have assorted items in here. So I got sawmills and I got lumberjacks, and you'll see here on the bottom. This game is all about getting points. Right now, I need to get at least 20 points with these 3 buildings. I got 2 lumberjacks and a sawmill. Points are determined by proximity. So this will get a bonus for each nearby sawmill, statue, and tree, and loses points for each other lumberjack in there. So I'm not gonna wanna cluster them. Basically, I wanna get these guys as close to as many trees as I can, but not next to another one.
Okay.
So if I kind of click on it and I start hovering here, you'll see some numbers. The number that's over the unit I'm controlling is how many total points it'll get me. So I can go for, like if I'm going for max points, like I can get one kind of here in the middle.
Like an 11, I think, for a second.
But that's not always the best call because, so I'm just gonna put this one here for 8.
Because it might get in the way of the other one you want to put down?
Exactly, and so you can kind of see here, I can spin the camera around. You see that dome. Basically, as long as I get it anywhere that's not with that dome touching the other one, because you see now there's a -6 over there. So I'll put this guy kind of over here. Put him up here. And then the sawmill gets bonuses for lumberjacks. So you do want this guy kind of in the middle of these two, right? So right in here in the middle of these two, that's gonna get me 14 points. And if I'm able to clear kind of my objective, I get another pack.
Okay.
And so this is kind of the whole game. It's kind of, you get these things and you have to figure out where strategically is going to be the best place to place them. And at the beginning, when you first start out with this game, it's very kind of just trial and error. Well, I'm gonna kind of clump everything up, place things where I can, and see where I go from there. But as you play more, you start to realize the importance of kind of what's already on the island. So, you know, you got this statue here. Statues work with a lot of different structures. Likewise with, if you kind of let it hover here, it'll tell you if it's something interesting. Not always. I find this game is maybe a little lacking in some of the information because let's see here, mill. So gets a bonus for each nearby warehouse, statue, city center, field, and mason. I didn't know right out the gate if field just meant like an open plain of grass,
right.
You know.
Or if it's like a specific feature.
But it is in fact a specific, this thing right here.
Okay.
Plateau is another one where it's like, well, I don't know, is this a plateau up here, this kind of flat thing? So you do have to kind of play a few rounds to get going, but once you do...
$5 only gets you so much in the way of tutorial.
Totally. And so there's certain things where it's like, okay, the windmill can't be on sand, but it doesn't necessarily say that. So let's just put it here.
And I'm guessing nothing can ever be moved after you plant it?
Totally.
Okay.
You can rotate pieces, which comes in handy because a lot of them are very defined shapes. And if you're trying to get like maximum, stackage.
Oh, were you able to put it? Oh, no.
You are able to put it over like natural.
Rock? That's weird.
Yeah, and then even trees, which you don't necessarily want to always do.
Yeah, like are you going to lose the points you're getting from those trees if you...
You don't lose the points you've already accumulated, but you couldn't earn future points if you get more lumberjacks and windmills and stuff like that. So let's just keep going here. And then you'll see here kind of in the bottom right, there's an outline of an island filling up there. And that's kind of how you progress. So I was able to clear one more circle. I'm way ahead. So, with this pack, I only need to get 23 points. I like the city pack quite a bit. It's, and you start to kind of like, you start to think about this as a city. So city center is kind of a unit that benefits a lot of different ones. You see it has a huge range here, so you do kind of want to put it in the middle. A lot of this game is just kind of this. It's like, okay, I can get 22 over here, I can get 17 over here, I only get 15 over here.
So are those the only two features that any building ever has, just gains or loses points based on how close it is to other stuff?
Yes.
Huh, okay. This is not what I was expecting.
Totally, no. And then the beach land down here I found is good for houses because you can't put a lot of things on the beach. And houses and mansions, their whole thing is just that you want to cluster them because they get points for how close they are to other houses, and the mansions get points for how close they are to other attractions. Okay, got the statue over here. Had it. Maybe I'll just do, there we go.
This game is extremely chill.
Yes. I feel like you and I get kind of assigned all the extremely chill games.
We shouldn't have recorded this right after lunch. Why are those two fields red? Are they...
That's a good question.
Conflicting with something?
I don't know. I think maybe it's an aesthetic thing. I think maybe just every other field you place is a certain color. So let's go ahead and fill out that island down there. The shaman is kind of like your anti-synergy piece. You want to get it as far away from most things as you can. It's good with statues, but bad for masons, city centers, and other shamans. So let's see if I can get it near this statue. Yeah, this seems like a nice little spot.
So I assume you could just brute force this game by just picking something randomly and just dragging it around until you find a place where the number is high?
Yes, and that will get you so far.
But I guess eventually you could set up like a pretty crappy, like paradoxical situation, right?
Yep.
Where you've got too many conflicting things that you didn't plan for.
Or the opposite problem is kind of the first thing I ran into, where I was just kind of clustering up everything, and then I realized I had a stretch where it was like, oh, I actually need access to those sawmills that I first put down, and I've surrounded them with other buildings that gave me 9 points, where if I was thinking ahead, I could probably get 30 points if I had these better, if I kind of left it up open.
Seems like it would kind of take a while to learn. Oh, did you win or did you
I
lose?
lost.
What happened?
I didn't place my mansions well, apparently.
So what was the lose condition there? Did you basically run out of buildings without
fill up that circle, yeah.
Okay, without hitting your point goal?
This one's a little easier. I'm gonna kind of breeze through this now. I feel like I can...
Before you get into this, is there any kind of overarching progression mode, like sequence of islands, or is it literally just spawn a new a random island over and over and over?
It gives you, the islands get bigger, basically, the further you go. So that's why I'm trying to kind of get through this as quickly as I can.
I guess what I'm asking, are you at the beginning of a new game now?
Yes, this is a new game. It scores you, it takes your total score across all islands during a run. But this is
so it's kind of run, I see.
Yeah.
So if you succeed on this island, you'll get a bigger island?
Yes.
And then if you beat that island, you get an even bigger one?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
So breweries, we've got hop field, statues, and warehouses. I'm gonna save my statue.
I'm really just into the look and feel of this thing.
Yeah.
Can you zoom way in?
No, there is
locked?
no zoom,
Ah,
unfortunately.
I like this like clean, kind of simplistic look it's got going on.
Yeah. Everything like fits really well together, which is nice. You know, you kind of, it's hard to see this, but if I'm slowly moving this guy towards this building, kind of like just locks right in there. So you can really make sure you get it like right
cool,
where you
yeah.
need it to be. Some more sawmills.
I have to check right now if this has been on mobile.
Yeah.
You said it's Steam only for sure?
That's what
Because if it hasn't been yet, it has to be headed there, because this is the most mobile ass looking, I mean, not in a bad way.
No.
Like, it seems cool.
But yes, this is totally something I would play on BART.
Very much touchscreen type controls.
Okay, let's just keep going here. Go for a more farming oriented.
Not on the App Store.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess not yet, but probably happening at some point.
That would be my guess. I would assume that this gets a Switch release as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, this seems tailor-made for the Switch.
They said on their page they were inspired by Bad North.
That game's not that old.
Yeah, no.
The game's like 8 months, 10 months old.
Yeah, which was kind of astounding for how quickly they were able to make something like this.
That game was cool. I didn't quite stick with it though. I'm not sure what it was about it.
I think I remember from the quick look it seemed a little maybe one-dimensional.
Yeah, yes.
Which isn't always a bad thing for games, but sometimes you just wish there was more.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I just assumed you couldn't build on those little...
Oh, totally. And there's like water units. There's certain units that need to be like on a cliffside or something. You know, they start getting, so that's the other thing is not only do the islands get bigger, but the more time you spend on an island, the more complicated the buildings that you're getting. You're eventually getting up to like circus and bank and stuff like that. But it all kind of depends on which path you go down. So you see now we've got a very agricultural themed thing here. And less of an urban.
So you're not gonna like want to try to transition to a city pack?
Not necessarily. So the cool thing is you can continue on an island if you don't want to go. So I think we'll actually clear this one pretty easily. Like
if you hit the score threshold, you can just kind of keep building?
Yeah.
Surprisingly difficult to Google for this game because I did not realize that New York has an NHL team called the Islanders.
I ran into that.
So if you type Islanders game into Google,
you can see about last night's.
You're going to see that they beat the Penguins 3-1.
I wish there was a way to flip, because like right here, I want this piece to kind of fit right in there. Oh, I can maybe do this. Okay.
Huh.
There we go. Okay, so now you see now this is kind of filled in and pulsating. At any point, I can travel to the next island. I don't know if I lose on this island, if that's just it.
Oh, surely not. That would be cruel.
It would be cruel, but I'm also still building my score.
Oh, because that score carries over, right? So, I mean, if you have excess points here, I mean, does that just carry over to the next island where you, like, surpass the requirements?
So the requirements kind of reset.
Head start? Oh, based on what you bring in?
How many you have.
Okay.
So you can see here, this island right out the gate, a little bigger, a little more to work with. And then, so now, because I only have access to one, either the farming or the lumber, I only need to get 20 points.
What's that orange stuff? Apparently nothing.
Apparently nothing. And this is kind of the whole game, Brad.
Yeah.
You know, there's a leaderboard.
Okay. For $5, I can't complain too much.
No.
That's pretty cheap.
This is, and I just started this morning, and I found myself, this is very much one of those, I'll just do one more experiences, because it's so easy to like get going. Once you know the very basic rules, and you kind of know your openings, so to speak, it's really easy to just like, okay, well this island doesn't have a ton of trees over here, but so now I can kind of, maybe I'll just kind of do this, get one out here on the coast.
It's a nice Sunday morning game.
Totally.
Just roll out of bed and just kind of blankly stare at your computer as you wake up.
What does this give me? Brickyards, statues, warehouses, towers, markets, city centers, plateaus, temples, and walls. You don't want it near other masons. That's kind of the one universal thing I've noticed is for a lot of these bigger structures, you just don't want them next to each other. It's kind of the first thing to look out for. But like a lot of the smaller structures like houses and fields, it's okay. And in fact, encouraged to kind of squish them together.
Huh.
So this guy is not really, I don't really have a ton to work with here. I have to plant it on stone, it looks like. Does it say that? No. So that's what there's certain pieces of information that are obfuscated like this, where I didn't know I couldn't put a mason on the ground, or else I would have maybe moved these guys a little closer so I could get more bonuses.
Oh, sure.
But, you know, that's something that like after your first day, you'll kind of get a handle on. Really simple controls. I just move around with WASD and then rotate the camera with Q and E.
Cool. I might have to give this a shot.
Yeah, it's just so chill. Let's just kind of blitz through here and I can show off the leaderboard and we can look and see how crazy people are getting.
Oh yeah, because I guess your ending score would just be an indication of how many islands you got through, more or less, right?
Yeah.
And there's no like undo, no save points or anything like that?
Nope.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right, we're going lightning around. 7 points. Yep.
First place it fits.
Definitely +9. That's huge.
If it fits, it sits on the island.
Welcome to my island. We're doing Fire Festival 2 here.
Oh man. Can I get my complimentary styrofoam container of bologna and lettuce and stale bread?
Only if you sit through Jaw Rule's performance.
Okay. That sounds like a fair trade.
So yeah, there you go. After a round, you get a score here, you get your best score, and then you can, of course, see it's your boy, Hoagie Gilligan, up there with the same score as you.
Good job, Hoagie Gilligan.
It doesn't look like there's necessarily a way to look at a global.
The top, yeah, oh wow, this game really is pretty stripped down, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm gonna try going back to the main menu.
It's got style though, like it's kind of, for the price and the bare bonesedness, it's got some polish to it.
Yeah, totally. I think for $5 this game is totally worth it. I think you know, if you're really kind of one of those more mobile gamers, look out for a Switch or phone release.
Sure.
Honestly, I don't think it could be too far away. They might even have something up on their Steam page about that. But that's Islanders, Brad.
Cool.
It's like you said, it's a very chill experience.
Yeah.
It's easy to kind of get in, get going, and lose. It's like a good hour and a half.
Yeah. That's all I'm ever trying to do. Just lose in an hour and a half.
Thanks for checking it out with me.